Well, hey, how's it going, garden friends? It's Destry. Welcome back to my Oregon yard. Today we are doing some container planting. We're going to be planting up these two pots, maybe some other pots. We're going to be finally getting some spring color in some containers. So although I'm planting for spring, it's a little bit chilly here in my yard this morning, but that's okay. I know the hot weather is coming, and so it's time to get these new plants I've been collecting in a pot, get my containers set up. I'm super excited for this project today. Let me go ahead and give you a quick tour of all the plants I'm going to be working with today and show you what spring color is in store for these containers. All right, friends, well, here are the plants we're going to be working with today. You can see I've got some geraniums here. And I don't know if I have the tags with the names. Some of these are propagations and some are new this year. Here's a new one. This is the Calliope Medium Pink Flame. So that is kind of this variegated bloom, which I really love. And then behind that, we have some salvia, I believe. Oh no, this is another geranium, I'm sorry. This one is the Calliope Medium Violet. So I just need to deadhead this one. In fact, I'll just do that now while I'm talking, if I can, with my fingernail, okay. So anyway, that's gonna be a pretty more purpley color. So that one is new to me this year. And then one of the Proven Winners plants I'm going to be trying, actually two of these, are the Color Blaze Newly Noir. I'm super excited to try this Coleus from Proven Winners. Look at the leaves. Isn't it just stunning? It's got this dark purple, it looks like velvety leaves, and I'm really excited to have those in the containers. And next up is this stunner right here. Look at this. This is a Salvia Skyscape Pink. And I love that the bracts are kind of more of a, like a soft beigey pink, I guess. And then the blooms are going to be these bright pinks. But then again, when those blooms, so these will fall and then you'll just be left with the bracts. And so I just think it's going to be really beautiful. I have two of those as centerpieces for these two containers. And then over here I have a few more Proven Winners plants. This one is one of my all-time favorite winter chicken dinner is the Proven Accents Silver Falls. This one is so pretty. I have really good luck overwintering this in my greenhouse, but I did want to pick up a fresh, you know, kind of a fresh plant. And this one looks amazingly healthy and perfect. And then next up is the Cypress Queen Tut Papyrus. So this is another one from Proven Winners. So next up is another one from Proven Winners. This is the Graceful Grass Queen Tut. And I have grown this one before, and it's so beautiful. It really has this really lovely structure to it, and it makes a great centerpiece for a container. So I might be incorporating this into my planting today as well. And up next, we have another of the Graceful Grasses, Fiber Optic Grass. You guys, this one is so pretty. I've never tried this one before, but it's just really beautiful. It's got kind of like this fairy-like quality, very whimsical, and it's just gorgeous. I'm excited to try it. And this one I actually have from last year, and I overwintered it on my back patio. It's the Curly Whirly Graceful Grasses from Proven Winners, and I love this one in arrangements. So you can, when it gets a little bigger, which it grows pretty fast, you can cut parts of this, and just as a little like accent to a floral arrangement, it's absolutely stunning. So this is one of my favorites, so I had to grab that too. I got all of the Proven Winner stuff from Bauman's Farms up in Oregon. And I have other videos about me visiting Bauman's Farms. So look in the description, I'll try to drop those for you. All right, guys, well, this is kind of what I'm working with today. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this planting. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is get something to slice this bag of dirt with. Interesting how it is substantially warmer in the greenhouse than it is out here today, this morning. It's probably in the high 50s, I would say. It's like kind of chilly out, so I'm like trying to keep moving. Kind of, otherwise I'm gonna have to go get my jacket. But all right, so I've got my 3 pots filled pretty well here, and I've got a well in the bottom of all of them. So now I'm just gonna kind of work on placement. Now I know I want my salvias, is that what I'm thinking of? I'm sorry, yeah, my salvia. I'm gonna want those in the 2 blue pots. That was kind of my plan here. And then I'm thinking, like some of this I have odd numbers. So with the black coleus, this one, I'm gonna go ahead, the Newly Noir, I'm gonna go ahead and put one of each of those in because I have one of each. So we'll kind of use that as kind of a secondary statement here. And then kind of filling in with some of the geraniums. But I want to break them up. So I don't want to have like, you know, just all geraniums in the front. So that's where I'm thinking, I do wish I had gotten one more of the dichondra because that would have been another spiller. Now I have one, but it's really small and I overwintered it from last year. I also have a bigger one I overwintered, so maybe I can take a piece of that because look how pretty that would be. Yeah, I really love that. Could also use this grass as kind of a spiller. I don't know how tall this gets. I feel like the habit of this is kind of like that mounding spilling habit. So let me try that in the other one. And I'm also gonna get this big white pot out of the way because I feel like I would like to have these side by side to see what the heck I'm doing. So now this is another one I'm gonna pot up, hopefully if I have enough stuff today. And then this is my rose, which I'm gonna move back there. There, that's much better. Okay, yeah. All right, so if that one graceful grass goes right here, oh yeah, that would be pretty, because then they're similar, but they're not exactly the same. You know, they're sisters, not twins. Is that what they say? Okay, so I'm liking that look. I'm trying to see, I still have quite a bit of room here in the back of this planter, but I do have some more geraniums I could tuck in, so I think that looks really good for now. I'm gonna go ahead and at least get this much planted, and then I'll make some decisions about that. I am gonna be using my biotone from Espelma to help, you know, get everything going and provide some fertilizer when I'm planting. So anyway, let's get it done. So here we go with the salvia. And I'm trying to face it and kind of really secure it nicely where I want it. And I'm putting it a little bit more towards the back than in the center, but I think that's gonna work just fine. And then next to that, I wanna put that Newly Noir. So here it is in all its beautiful glory. There's the roots on that. Now this will get big, but I am gonna use it in a container. I thought about putting it in the ground, but I really wanna kind of baby it a little bit more. So, and I'm gonna kind of try to groom this geranium here. I might need to go grab a little bit more soil. Okay, then we're gonna put that, the Graceful Grasses, this is that fiber optic. Pretty. Now another reason I'm using these in containers is I can, hopefully I can overwinter some of this stuff. So that's another reason I'm using a container for this rather than planting in the ground. It's just a little easier to, you know, you can pop the whole container into the greenhouse. Just a little easier to deal with here. Right, I don't like that placement, so I'm gonna go down a little bit lower. There we go, that's better. And I'm just making sure I have lots of soil around the root ball here. Oh, I love that. I love how I'm getting like the different textures of all of this stuff. And I think it's gonna fill in beautifully. Okay, I'll make room for this one other geranium. This one's a little, this is one of the ones I did a cutting of, so it's not quite as far along with the root structure, but that's okay. It'll fill in. All right, well now I'm gonna start on the second one here and go ahead and get this one planted up. Now I'm liking the way that looks. I'd say I still have like a little bit room to tuck in like small things. I just don't know if I have anything the appropriate size. So I'll have to look at that here after I kind of get this all settled. I do have one other coleus that I got that I might be able to use in this container, but that's the thing. I also want to leave plenty of room for things to fill in, you know? So I don't know that I'm going to need it. All right, well, here is how they turned out. You can see that salvia in there. I've got the geraniums going kind of on the sides, and then, you know, two different kind of spillers. I'm curious to see how this guy will do. I'm hoping he won't be a bully and take over the whole structure of the pot, you know, but I think that's all I'm going to put in there. And then kind of the dark spot and sort of the deeper purple with the coleus. So I really love this, this look. I think it looks really awesome. I'm excited to try this. So these are going to go on my front patio area, which I am kind of redoing right now. Well, not totally redoing, but you know, I'm always doing something different. So I bought two plant racks that are going to house some of my houseplant collection so I can get them outside for the summertime. Anyway, these are going to go out front, and I think they're going to be a lovely welcome to my guests. So I'm really excited for how this turned out. Now I'm going to go ahead and start working on this pot. So I have a couple other options for this guy. Obviously, I still have the two grasses that I didn't use. So I'm planning on using maybe one or the other of those. I'm not sure. But I also have these. These are really stunning. They are a flowering maple, and I got these up at Bowman's, and they are just, they're so beautiful. So I actually had one that was a slightly different color than this one, and I lost it. I left it outside for the winter like an idiot. I should have brought it in, and now I think it's a goner. So I got this one, and then I also got one other of the flowering maples. So this one is a yellow. It's a Lucky Lantern flowering maple. So anyway, you can see it's got some blooms on it. I would say it's a little farther behind than this one, just because this one's already blooming and even has a spent bloom there. But so I might use that, but I don't know. That's like a whole different color scheme if I do the red. So I would have to, you know, think about that if I want to do more reds in this container, or like, you know, kind of what I'm thinking about. So I also have more geraniums in the greenhouse I could choose from. Here's a couple more of the dichondra silver falls that I have overwintered in the greenhouse, and you can see they've done really well. You do have to kind of trim them back, fertilize them, and, you know, bother with keeping them, but you can overwinter them. Here's a geranium. I'm not sure what color it is. I'm going to think that it's probably red. I'm guessing on that. But I do have some reds here that I could use if I use that lantern. I mean, red, you know, and do kind of more of a red color scheme. I definitely have some here. Now I also have more that are getting ready to bloom of the geraniums. So again, I'm not exactly sure on what colors there are here, but like I could tell you that one's red as well. And I could use those in the arrangement. All right, so here's how the white one turned out. And again, I probably could fit more in there, but I do want to leave room for these plants to fill in and grow. I used one of the proven winners, the Graceful Grasses, the Queen Tut. So this one won't be quite as aggressive. Oops, I lost one. Oh, darn. Or maybe it was like that. Oops. Anyway, I hope it won't be quite as aggressive because I really want to leave room for this flowering maple to grow and develop. And so, but I did do the red geraniums too to just kind of fill in. Again, that's just what I had, but I think it's gonna look really pretty when it's all filled in. Totally different color scheme than the other two, but that's okay. I'm gonna put this one probably on my back patio and enjoy it back there. But I think it turned out really great. I'm excited for all the different textures, the different colors of the leaves. And I'm just excited to be planting some fresh plants this spring, you guys. So tell me in the comments, have you done any container planting yet? How did yours turn out? Let me know. And then this last whirly twirly grass, I'm just gonna go ahead and pot it up in a singular pot by itself. That way it'll hopefully really get big and I can use it in some of my cut flower arrangements, and it's just kind of gorgeous on its own. Like I said, I have one more pot of it, which I actually cut back, which I'm hoping was the right thing to do. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and just get this one potted up in this one pot. All right, so here's that other grass all potted up by itself, and you can see, I mean, it will fill in quickly and it will spread. So I think that's actually a perfect size for that size can, so it can grow and develop over the summer. And I also have some other fresh plants back here. I'm gonna be planting up my green stalk planter, and I don't have time to do it right now, but I'm super excited to get it planted up. So it's definitely a project I'm gonna be working on any day now. I've got most of the stuff to do it, and it's gonna be really fun. And then of course I also need to get my other flowering maple planted up. So I'm gonna look around and see if I can find another pot for that. But right now I am running out of dirt, so I gotta go back to the store. All right, well, I got the two new pots in place, and I think they look really, really great. I really like the blue with the other small blue pot that I have. And my topiaries are all growing right now, so I'm just letting them do their thing, and I will shear them back a little bit later. But it is spring, so I want them to put on some size. And then I was going to show you my new purchase back here. I got two of these little plant racks. I've done different things up here in the front. I had chairs up here at one point. I really liked that look, but I just really thought these were cute. So I grabbed these off Amazon, and I am excited to put some more plants out here this summer. I'm thinking I could even do some of my house plants, my jade, things that like some sun, some of my Christmas cactus and stuff, because they will be shaded for most of the day in these two little corners. And it's just kind of cute. I think it's going to make a nice little courtyard area, which is kind of what we have going on up here. And then we did get the fountain going. So the fountain is going. And then my two bushes here are fully in bloom. They look really, really pretty. They're just going for it. And then my daylilies are coming back, and still thinking about putting something here and here. I did some patience there last year, and that worked really well. You see my daffodils are just flopped over. They're done. But yeah, it's looking really good out here. And of course we've got the honeysuckle and then the Japanese maple. So it's fun. I like the blue pots, the new blue pots. I think they look really regal there with kind of the scroll work, and I really love the new plant racks. So I got to get them kind of styled up. But these guys are putting on some growth. They're getting woolly. Eventually I'm gonna have to repot them or something, put them in the ground. But yeah, I think the new plant racks are really cute. Well, I think that's gonna do it for my container planting today, guys. It's getting a little chilly out. I'm gonna go grab my jacket. I might do a little other gardening today, but right now I'm out of dirt, I'm out of plants, and I'm out of time. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, can you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend, and if you need me, I'll be doing some gardening. I'll see you guys later. Bye.